Okay, let's try this again. I'm pretty sure my gig today is actually at Bushwackers. Or not. Jeez. Alright, the doors are locked again. I'm gonna have to make a phone call, but I don't have a key to the door, and Matt is on vacation. With the power of technology, they were able to remote me in. Now let's get this gig started. What the heck? Well, it looks like they've moved the booth back about, geez, I don't know, 12, 15 foot? Time to fire everything up. Here's footage of where the booth used to be. And you can see it was clear up on the dance floor. And now, it's off the dance floor and probably back another 4 or 5 feet. Well, this is fun. I have everything powered on, but I'm not getting any sound out of the system. I can see that it's working, but no sound. The band is here, and this is their stage plot. So I'm gonna keep working on the problem as they set up. Nope, that didn't fix it. Well, I've exhausted everything I could think of, so time to phone a friend. Well, this is gonna sound really stupid, but the problem is this stage box. I literally didn't power it on. I've never had to power it on, it's always been powered on, and you can see the last 3 outputs there are what runs the house speakers. Pretty silly mistake on my part, but now I know, and we can get the band going. While talking to the drummer, I'm noticing I'm not getting sound in certain inputs from the drum mics. If you caught it in their stage plot, you'll notice they were using their own in-ear monitoring system, which means they're using a splitter. After trying a bunch of different routes, it ended up being just a labeling issue. They were plugging stuff in and I was plugging stuff in, and I was going in the wrong spots based on the labels. These kind of things happen all the time. I've actually done it myself with my own rig for my band. But hey, with our powers combined, we're all fixed, so now I can start going into sound check. Let's take a look at their gear. This is the guitar player's pedal setup, and he is running into this amp. Any bets on what this rooster mascot's supposed to represent? The lead singer will be playing acoustic. He has a pretty minimal setup for that. And here's their shared guitars. We have keys. The keyboard player also plays guitar, and he's going to be using a Boss pedal. I'm assuming since he has an amp, he's just using the Boss for effects. The bass player is using a Helix. And here are their guitars. And of course, you can't forget the drummer. Animal actually matches this drum set really nicely. Now there's always a little bit of time in between, and instead of just sitting on my butt, I like to clean up my work area. This venue also supplies free dance lessons every once in a while. People are starting to pile in. time to start the show. Overall, we had a lot of challenges tonight, but the gig went really well and the band did a good job. Again, I like to start with the drum mics because they're the smallest and they're the easiest to have walk off. Not that the band would do it, but sometimes people confuse what is theirs versus what is yours, and it's just easier for everybody. Another one of the challenges is I had to come out of the booth quite often because with the booth so far back, it sounded so different than what was on the floor. And there is a reference monitor set up, but I still feel like you're not going to know exactly what it's like unless you're out there. You know, at first rolling up all these cables kind of sucks, but once you get used to it, it's actually kind of relaxing. You just turn your brain off and go to work. Kind of unusual. Usually it's just me at the end, but they had a DJ after, so it was still super busy when I left. Whoa, check out this cool car. Well, tonight's gig was very challenging, but I learned a lot, and I thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you at the next gig.